Hello, I am Kodili-nye, the son of the wonderful. Welcome back to another round of street vlogging, where we iron our things and we discuss valid arguments and innovations that will increase the developmental objective of our homeland in Nigeria, in Anambra State. So join us today and please try to contribute by dropping a sweet comments that will help to deepen in the conversation and keep the conversation going on. And this is very, very important and very vital. So before we do, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you are part of the show. So what are we discussing today? Many people are beginning to discuss about the issue of these estates and the land speculators all over the place, in the homeland, in Anambra and Nigeria especially. And people are beginning to say, is that what we are going to eat because of lack of government policy on agriculture or food security? And people are becoming aware that in next 10 years they might have a major problem of food insecurity, worse than what they are seeing now, that people will have nothing left to eat because there will not be any area for agriculture, because they know that the government has not have any plan to have a proper sustainable agriculture that can actually mitigate about this. Ndị mmadụ na-ekwuzisi ọ bụ estate ka anyị ga-eri. And having known what happened oge nke koro, that a lot of people cannot find food anywhere. People are beginning to ask questions that this building of houses all over the place, is that not the way to fashion out a model that actually will encourage live and let live, build house and people will still have food to eat? So that's what we're here to discuss today. And I do believe that if you have been listening to what we drop here, we've been saying about these things over the years, over the months. Last year we dedicated a lot of vlogs on doing this, that we might face a lot of famine and starvation. That the worst is still coming, because the government has no agricultural plan. Not just Anambra State, but most of Nigeria has nothing. You know, because if they do have, you would have seen a proper industrialization. And we offered solutions upon solutions which has not been done. So now we are going to drop our own comments and solutions. In a country that knows their oil, so in a country that has leadership that actually think deeper, we will not be having insecurity, food insecurity in the country. And the food insecurity leads to unemployment, leads to insecurity of life and property, and inflation. So now, what they would have done is simple, that you must reserve some percentage of land for farmland in every towns and villages, including cities. You must have spaces where food can be produced, because we are not going to depend on food coming from outside because of the cost involved and the lack of quality on those food, because he has to travel a long distance. At the end of the day, most of his nutrients are nowhere to be found. So that's why we are advocating that the government should start to put a policy that will make it that in areas, let's give example, the Onitsha greater region, they should have around there places for agricultural lands and make it compulsory that those people establishing housing estate should not build in all their land. Let's give an example. If an estate is 50 plus, so they are not allowed to build in the whole 50 plus. Out of that 50 plus, they must have 10% reserved for agricultural activities. They must have land that the people that are living there has to lease, lease something like, even if it's 15 by 15 for vegetables and every other thing. It must be like that. Not just that. A city like the Greater Onitsha must have surrounding around it cattle ranch, greenhouses, and a lot of vegetations that will help to sustain the city. Invest in event of any logistic breakdown. The city can easily produce its own food, can be sufficient in food, and when a city is sufficient in food, every other things work. So for a state like Anambra that hasn't got much land, it should have been proactive not to allow the madness of building everywhere. So as a lot of the villages, their choice land have been sold to these land speculators, and they fence the land and start selling it in Abuja's prices. And this has caused untold hardship to the villagers and making a lot of the villagers to now have a hopeless situation because their source of livelihood have been destroyed and nothing has replaced it because there is no economic activity that can replace their normal activities before. So that's what we are here to put across and to say that this must stop. This attitude must stop, because if it doesn't stop, our homeland risk has a lot of is going to have a lot of problem, which people are crying at the moment about the food insecurity, but the worst is still on the horizon. So to stop this, we must do something and arrest this situation. We must be able to produce our food, enough food we eat, even if we don't have enough to export. But we must have a policy that we will start to implement that encourage this. So another thing is to empower the cooperatives. A lot of the cooperatives has to be empowered. By now, you should be having community farms. Even in the cities, they should have community neighborhood farms. These farms will be targeted with the production points or production targets, what they need to produce. I spoke to one guy from Kodili-nye some time ago when Soludo was about to award all those things. So the man was adamant that Soludo should not award all those things he's awarding in Kodili-nye. That Kodili-nye doesn't need that. I now told him Kodili-nye need that, but what Soludo should also do is to help to reclaim those erosion lands, erosion livage lands, and so that he will be deployed for agriculture. That I told him how this thing can be done, that the government doesn't want to reclaim that over the years because it's like a way of wasting money. I told him how it can be done. He said, why is the government not listening to what this type of idea? I said, yes, they know the politicians doesn't want to solve a problem. They want it to linger, so they budget billions and wasted the billions because generally Nigeria is built on consumption, wasting of resources. So they are not built on solving problems. So that's what we discussed. And I told him that Kodili-nye can actually produce between 1 million to to 5 million yams. And he asked me how. I told him how it can be done. I said the Ekulobia can actually turn into a place where you have all those products produced. And I explained everything. I said the industries will come in and start producing based on the product from yam and other things. And I told him other things Ekulobia alone can actually produce. So, and he was shocked. So this is applicable to every town and villages in Anambra State and in Anibo. So, but the main thing is that with the government looking to do and create an avenue for this, no, they won't, because they are not much interested in that. You know, giving trees to people is another thing. But will it be able to sustain if there is any logistic problem, and which is already happening in Nigeria, because to travel from one end of Nigeria to the other costs a lot. So because of that, the food prices has gone up. And to mitigate about these things, you must invest in local production of all those food. Make sure that those food are produced locally, so that you must see a way to produce it. You don't need to, in Anambra State, a person living in Onitsha having to get tomatoes from all the way from North Nigeria, whereas you can actually produce most of the tomato Onitsha need in Onitsha there. But you need a modern form of agriculture. You need to secure places where you do this through greenhouse and other sources. There are a lot of ways to do all those things. There are many ways. But because we don't want this video to be long, what we are advocating here is that we must say no to this building all the places. We must say no to land speculating. We must actually push the politicians, as we did about the insecurity in the state. And finally, Soludo has woke up. We must do this because food insecurity is worse than even ordinary security. Because people have to be alive to be able, in order to push up the economy and make the economic activity work. So, what is your own opinion about this? Do you think what we are talking here is making any sense? If you think so, please help to share this video so that many people can actually see that, so that even the governor and the politicians will be awakened from their slumber. I am still Kodili-nye, the son of the wonderful. See you in the next one. Have a wonderful time and God bless you. Bye.